moss. Worn out my shoes, running through this honky tonk, singing you love branch blues. You love branch blues. 'Cause the rolling stone gathers no moss. Worn out my shoes, running through this honky tonk, singing you love branch blues. You love branch blues.
All right, now we're live. Welcome to Euland Branch Blues. We got another episode here, but we're not coming at you from the pump house. This is the first episode that we have actually ventured away from the pump house. I got my man Steve Perry here. I'm your host, Dylan Merle. We've got the Gretsch rep with us from all the way from Alabama, I think he said. Is
That's
that right,
correct,
Jason?
sir. Decatur, Alabama.
Decatur, Alabama. So he's big time. We're drawing him in from everywhere now. So Jason Crow, Gretsch rep, how you doing today, bud?
I'm good, man. How are y'all?
Man, I'm great. Like I said, we've never done this outside of the pump house, so it's kind of weird, you know.
I'm kind of freezing up.
Yeah,
I'm
freezing up,
yeah.
nervous.
I'm nervous now.
So we're outside of Greenham County. We're outside of the pump house. We're here at
I've got my
Getfiddle
green card.
We're at Getfiddle Custom Shop down here. The owner is Travis Pyatt. He invited us out here, doing some big things out here. We're going to talk about that. If I can get him over here, we'll talk about his shop. But Jason, tell us a little bit about what you do, where you come from.
Well, I work for Fender technically. I am the Specialty Brands DSM, District Sales Manager, for,
that sounds good.
For the Southeast. Basically, I've got Miami to Baltimore, all the way over to Memphis, obviously through West Virginia and Kentucky. So I travel around and sell a whole bunch of guitars. Gretsch is obviously one of my main brands. I also do Jackson, which you can get here at Getfiddle Custom Shop. Charvel and EVH, and last year we purchased Bigsby. So
Okay.
Bigsby tremolos, vibratos, tailpieces, we're responsible for that now as well. So basically, I travel around and sell a whole bunch of guitars.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how'd you get started doing that? What's the history? How'd you get into doing it?
Honestly, man, it's I literally have been in this industry all my life. My dad owns a music store in Decatur, Alabama.
Okay.
He's been walking in the same building for 46 years. I do have a PR degree from the University of Alabama, Roll Tide. And, you know,
Easy now.
It's okay.
We're up in regrets.
I know I'm not supposed to cuss on the air.
It's basketball season.
Yeah, you're good. Don't worry about it.
That's right.
We'll be lucky to make the tournament. Y'all have already kicked our butt twice. So yeah, literally this is what I do.
Nice.
It's just one of those things where it's just this job is a huge blessing, and I love it. You know, it is a lot of work.
Right.
You don't want to be up late at night writing the emails I have to write, or early in the morning doing the same thing all over again. You know, it just a lot of territory, a lot of turf, but it affords me. The wife doesn't have to work, and the boys are at home, and everybody's fed, and all is good.
Hey, can't ask more than that, can you, Steve?
How'd you get up here? Did you drive?
No,
fly?
I took a little bouncy flight into Charleston,
you?
West Virginia.
Charleston?
Yeah, so first time landing at Jaeger. That was a
experience.
It was experience. Yeah, I think we kind of came in sideways, but we've all been sideways at one point in our life. I'm sure
Well, they have to up there. The mountains, you're coming in, you got to tilt them wings up.
Somebody told me that what
holler.
they basically did was blow the top off a hill and put the airport there.
That's
so,
exactly right.
You know, it's
Coming sideways, you save on them brake pads too. You know, you just wear the tires out a little bit more. Yeah, that's right.
It was not the worst flight I've been on as far as landing. So it's probably middle of the road as far. I've been on a lot of airplanes, a lot of airports. I've taken a few bounces. So it's,
I understand that.
been in a couple of wave offs.
Let me ask you this: are you flying back home, or are you getting a rental?
I've
rental car.
No,
it must not have been that bad.
Well, it must not have been too bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
So.
So tell us the history about Gretsch.
Well, for those that don't know, Gretsch is actually 137 years old as a company this year.
Oh.
So it's been around. A lot of, if you look at the history of electric guitars or guitars in general, there's a lot of commonality between some of the bigger names, be it Gibson and Fender. Mr. Gretsch immigrated from Europe, started the company, and there's the Gretsch building is still in existence in Brooklyn.
Oh wow!
So it's still there. It is actually high-end apartments now, which is really cool. It's
impressive.
It's which is one of the funny stories. One of the guys that works for Gretsch, he was actually there getting a history lesson. One of the tenants, because he had on his Gretsch shirt, one of the tenants came up and said, "Hey, my air conditioner's not working up in whatever number." He said, "We'll get right on that, ma'am," and just kept going. So it was and Mr. Gretsch was with him, so they had a good time with that. But kind of if you following the history of the guitars. in the 50s, the kind of the golden era of guitars in general, you got Seth Lover and Les Paul at Gibson. You've got Leo at Fender. And then you've got Ray Butts and Mr. Kramer there at Gretsch. So there's a lot of things. Everybody's trying to do this and do that. And obviously, that's when technology is starting to take over. People are starting to invent things. And if we look at you got Seth Lover at Gibson, you got Ray Butts at Gretsch. They're trying to do the same thing, which is get rid of the hum that is created by a single coil pickup.
Okay.
They're making common style, the hollow body guitars and the things of that nature, and the solid bodies being born. And they do the same thing when you look at the way a Gretsch is versus a Gibson, just doing it a little different way. On the PAFs that Seth Lover designed, there's a whole bunch of wire and itty-bitty magnets. Well, on a Filtertron, Ray Butts chose to do it a different way. He's got bigger magnets and a whole lot less wire. So there's a difference in that, and that's part of the Gretsch sound. That's part of our power and fidelity motto that we do. That's the reason the Gretsch is a Gretsch. And got that innovation. We're coming in, obviously Chet Atkins in the 50s and 60s, huge influence.
Right.
And then in the late 60s, following again, Gibson is being sold to Norland, Leo selling out to CBS. Gretsch sold to Baldwin. Yes, Baldwin, the piano maker. So that was,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's kind of where that all, and that obviously, if you look at the guitars, so we're going into the 70s, a lot of conglomerations, a lot of this company owning that company, which owns this company and owns that company.
Gotcha.
And guitars were no different.
Okay.
And Gretsch was no different. So, and there was that downturn as companies tried to, we can save half a penny if we do this.
Yeah.
So
they start trimming and try to figure out.
And so you've got 3-bolt necks at Fender, you've got sandwich bodies at Gibson, and Gretsch, obviously, Baldwin is concentrated on piano, so there were some issues there as well.
Right.
Some really cool models and stuff in there, but, it was trending down, as were guitars in general.
Gotcha.
Now, Gretsch did not have a Bill Schultz, as Fender did, to kind of resurrect it.
Okay.
Gretsch had Fred Gretsch.
Right.
And he pulled all of his resources and everybody he knew, and he got his family name back.
Okay.
And he's very proud of that, and very deservedly so. But realizing there was only a certain extent to where he could take it, in the early 2000s, he entered into an agreement with Fender to run the company, essentially. We are responsible for everything. We make it, we sell it, we market it, we do everything that has to be done. We send out guys like me to come here and do things like this.
Absolutely.
So, and that's the way it is. We do not own the name.
Okay.
It is his company,
Right.
and he still has Fred Gretsch Enterprises down in Savannah,
Gotcha.
Georgia.
Yeah.
And he is still a huge proponent for music education. He is still very much involved in making sure people are playing guitar,
Right.
and other musical instruments. So
I think that's cool.
Oh, yeah.
He wanted to get his family name back. He wanted to, rebuild it back,
Yep.
come back with it. I love that.
yeah, and again realizing that, hey, there's only so far I can take this.
Yeah.
And-
Being smart enough, knowing
Correct.
he needed help.
And
That's
so,
right.
and what we did, a gentleman by the name of Mike Lewis, who is still with Fender but not with Gretsch at this moment, he got all of the quote-unquote Gretsch people, and I'm making air quotes for you, everyone who
Okay.
can't see us.
Air quotes.
Yeah. So,
felt it.
and they
Felt it.
what he did is he refined the brand back to what it should be.
I got you.
We took guitars that were of the quality Gretsch should be. We found old Chets and old country gents, and we said, okay, where's the one? Where's the sweet spot? Where's the this is what a 6120 should be. This is what a country gent should be.
Gotcha.
And we CAT scanned them.
Oh.
So we could look inside these wonderful instruments without having to tear them apart.
Oh, now we're getting.
Yeah.
Now
So
we're getting to the bones of it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Why is this guitar better than that guitar?
Yeah.
And of course, they all came out of the same plant. They all came out of the same place.
Right.
But again, we're thinking 50s, 60s. There was not that standardization of work we have in industry today.
Right.
So, Dylan, you're sitting there making the best guitar that's ever been made. It's the quintessential Gretsch. And Steve is making, not so much.
Right.
So we found the quintessential Gretsch, and we instead of having to tear them apart, we said, hey, how can we look inside this without messing up this guitar?
Wow.
So that's what we
Genius.
did.
That's genius.
That is.
Starting in 2004, that's when kind of all these changes were implemented, and the vintage series in Gretsch is phenomenal. If you want a 1962 country gent without the $9,000 price tag, come buy one. Come buy one of the vintage reissues. You're getting the same quality. You're getting the standard.
For what kind of price you talking on that?
It's going to be a little over 3.
Oh, yeah.
So you're going to save some money.
That's a good price. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's 1,900. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
I tried.
Okay. Phew. Yeah.
No, it's decent.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's good quality.
because the upper end of that, right? The other end, what you're talking about, the quality that you're getting. I mean, them things run 10,000. I'll tell you something.
Yeah, I mean, if you want like a, let's see, I was working in a store. A gentleman brought in a 1959 one owner 6120 Chet Atkins. I believe we paid him $11,000.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. So I mean, if you can get that down to 3, I mean, that's my God.
Well,
not that, but you know what I mean. That quality down to about 3. I mean, you're doing really good.
So we've refined and we continue to make small incremental improvements on that. And then, these days, the modern player, we have what we call our Players Edition, and this is in our Pro Series stuff. So again, we're $2,200 and up.
Right.
We're refining that for the modern player.
Okay.
Because the modern player doesn't want the higher neck set. The modern player doesn't want some of the tuning stability issues of a Bigsby.
Right.
Whereas the older player goes, hey, that's what makes it a Gretsch.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I need. I need
Road
that.
school.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's right.
So the modern player wants a little more refined guitar. So we're doing a lot of things with our Players Edition to keep that power and fidelity, that great Gretsch sound, but put it in a more refined package. So that's really the direction the company's headed now. A gentleman by the name of Jason Barnes is the current VP that runs Gretsch, and he's just continues to make the guitars with excellence, and they're just really great stuff. And Gretsch, because of the fidelity of the Filtertron matched with the construction that we've refined, the trestle bracing on our solid bodies, they're actually all chambered because the Filtertron wants that air for the fidelity it creates. It just makes it's the perfect other guitar.
Oh, okay.
If you look at, all these guys they'll hear an AC/DC song kick off and they just go, woo, Angus. No, dude, Malcolm.
Yeah.
With the Vox, playing a Gretsch. Shut up. Obviously there's a couple of little exceptions to that. But, I mean, all those quintessential rock and roll riffs, it's a Gretsch.
There you go.
He's just arm sawing on a Gretsch as loud as he can freaking get it.
And just hammer away.
Hammering away. And that sound is Gretsch. Another modern example, Richard Fortas from Guns N' Roses plays a lot of Falcons.
Okay.
Because he found when he and Slash were playing Pauls, it just created this, for lack of a better term, lack of fidelity.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with Les Paul. I worked for Gibson. I love Les Pauls with all I got. Right. But they live in the mid-range. Whereas a Gretsch, you get the fidelity, you get the thump on the low end, you get the shimmer on the top, and that makes for a fullness of sound to your band that's hard to get with anything else.
So they kind of complemented each other.
They complement each other very well. So, I mean, a Strat and a Gretsch, a Telly and a Gretsch, a Paul and a Gretsch, anything like that, because of the fidelity, it just fills it out. The other thing with the Filtertrons, they are a lower impedance. They don't fight the signal as much because there's less wire. So, excuse me, guys. So that's one of the reasons they work well with pedals.
Okay.
If you're an effects junkie, buy a Gretsch.
Right.
Case in point, top 3 contemporary Christian bands, Jesus Culture, Hillsong, Elevation.
Okay.
You've got Gretsch players.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I think Hillsong, I just went to Winter Jam here a little bit. I think Hillsong was there.
Yeah,
there's a bunch of people there.
Nigel's been playing a Falcon forever.
Okay.
Even back to, when they first started, coming up getting hot. Jeff Conde from Jesus Culture is a jet guy, loves their solid bodies. Go to his website. He's sitting there holding a Sparkle Jet. Sage Greer from Elevation Worship. Not only does, he actually works at a store in Charlotte, so he plays and sells Gretsch. So he, it makes sense with what they do, the layering of the effects and things of that nature. So that's another thing the Filtertron works well with.
I'll tell you one thing. I'll go to that, and Gretsch is probably all through that Winter Jam. I can't imagine how many people are actually playing some kind of product from them. But man, that production of Winter Jam, if you've never been to that, it blew my face off, dude. Like there was metal bands, there was a K-Love bands, there was all these different effects and people just moving stuff on and off, some inspirational speakers. Check out Winter Jam if you ever get a chance.
You said the light show, too, was very impressive.
Oh, dude, they had smoking. You'll never see a bigger production than out there. They had the lights going, the programs for them, the fog machines. It was actually one of the biggest production shows I've ever been to. It blew me. I didn't expect it, I guess. That's probably another thing is I didn't know it was like that in a church house. you know.
They play.
but
They rock
but
out.
they get down.
Yeah.
Okay. Shoot.
So
Come to my church, bro. We ain't playing. We ain't playing. And I'm up there big sawing on a 59 chat
Oh, I
reissue,
love
baby.
it. I love that stuff. Yeah.
I ain't scared.
dude, that's what. If you find me in church, I'm glued to the music, man.
Yeah,
I love it.
that's
I
what
do.
it may
I
do.
really do. So you've kind of touched all of our questions here, but I kind of really want to emphasize what Gretsch has to offer
Okay.
in today's market.
Well, and the other thing we do, again, most of the stuff we talked about is pro. So we're
Okay.
looking, it's $2,000 and up. So we're
Right.
talking some money. But we do our Electromatic series, which is typically going to top out around the $1,000 price point.
Okay.
And that's going to be everywhere from $499. Well, actually, we have some at $349, but typically $499, $599 for solid bodies. Hollow bodies are going to start at about $799,
Okay.
up to $1,000. And the great thing about them is all those things we talked about. They have Filtertrons,
Okay.
so they've got that style of Gretsch pickup. We have over the past several years also refined those guitars to where they have the appointments they should have. It's on the solid bodies. It's a real mahogany body with a real maple top. We've improved the tuners, we've improved the look, we've improved them cosmetically and functionally. Also, our Streamliner line, we're borrowing from when Gretsch first went into electrics. Their hollow bodies were called Streamliners,
Okay.
pre-1954. So we have our Streamliner line. They are $299 for a solid body. Travis, by the way, they're in stock here at Getfiddle Custom Shop. Travis has got
go.
one behind
Good
the counter.
point.
Yeah.
And then we do hardtail solid bodies, Bigsby solid bodies, $449.99, $549.99. Again, classic Gretsch styling. We've got something for everybody.
Okay.
We also have short scale bases, long scale hollow body bases. So we've got a little bit of something for everybody in any price point you can imagine.
Wow.
And you're getting that Gretsch sounding quality no matter what you
Okay.
pay.
That's awesome. So my son just started playing.
Okay.
He found a guitar, I don't know, he was laying around the pump house or something. He found this guitar, and he just started playing. Do you have any advice for people that are just starting off? Is there any products you would kind of lean towards? Is there any types of guitars, picks, or anything, soft picks, hard picks, anything?
I'll tell you something I got is get him a tuner. That's the
Okay.
big key. Because I tell you what, even if you're doing it right, if it ain't in tune,
Yeah.
ain't listen at me.
Well,
if it isn't in tune,
Yeah, if it ain't in tune, yeah. Your grammar ain't in tune is what it is.
Exactly.
I'll push the corporate agenda for a hot minute. We actually have Fender Play,
Okay.
which is an app for lessons.
Oh.
So
That's what I was looking
and
for.
from I don't know anything to hey, I'm pretty good.
Okay.
You can find something on
Well,
Fender
look
Play.
right here. I've got a tuner app, and guess what it is?
Ta-ta-ta,
Fender.
Look at that. Look at
Plug
you,
it right
buddy.
here, buddy.
So
There it
we
is.
do have that. And there are programs that can match what somebody wants to do in lessons at the store level.
Okay.
So it's not, while you can get started on your own, we don't want to take away from what Travis and other stores do with lesson programs. So
Okay.
we have ways to tie those together. Also, like Steve said, get a tuner. And honestly, don't quit.
Just don't quit.
Don't quit.
Keep hammering down.
Get through the rough spots, especially with a steel string. Get through the owies and the muscle
Okay.
memory and all the other things. A lot of times I tell people, because we have, guys love to play golf, and I equate learning the guitar to a good golf swing, because it's all about just keeping doing it over and over and over the right way again, building that muscle memory, building that up. So just keep doing it, and that's the thing. Now, as far as an instrument, Travis has got some Jim Dandies on the way. It's a
Okay.
little 3/4 guitar that is a heck of a guitar for 169.
Okay.
And it is a killer. A lot of guys who already play will actually just buy to have one sitting on the sofa.
Oh,
it's
wow.
the perfect sofa guitar.
Just grab it and just
Sit there and strum away.
Strum away.
So yeah, they've got some of
Gotcha.
those. Those have been actually.
Take to a bonfire.
Yep.
Coming
there
up.
you go.
Weather's getting ready.
Easy as
Getting ready.
pack.
Just don't
Yeah,
throw it.
exactly.
Just don't throw it in the bonfire, because that's actually what happened to the poor guitar. It's the best selling piece in the Gretsch line.
Okay.
If you just counting boxes moved, and the plant in China, they had a bonfire
Oh, no.
in the plant,
Oh, no.
and so they've been off the market about a year and a half. But we just got them back
right.
out,
Wow.
and it's a great little guitar. Great little guitar for the beginner, for the intermediate, and then again for the guy who knows how to play but just wants something sitting on a stand by
Sitting
the
yeah.
sofa.
That's awesome. My son just started playing. He's right in them pain stage that you said. So
Keep going.
We'll see. Like he's 8, so he's like super young. But I mean, you got to start somewhere, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you know, I don't know if 8's too young, but He seems to love it. So why should consumers buy Gretsch over somebody else? You kind of touching all this, but let's really narrow it down. What does Gretsch offer that someone else in the market doesn't bring as well to the table?
Well, I'll start with just kind of rehash just a little bit, obviously.
Right.
We've got something at every price point.
Okay.
All right, so you've got acoustic guitars $169 and up. We've got electric guitars starting at $299. Some of you out there may be saying, well, I can get this for $199. Yeah, you can, but is it the quality? Is it something you're going to be happy with?
Right. I got something to add to that. My son, Dylan, plays.
Okay.
And even when he started at 13 when he started playing, but I can remember if we'd ever go to a guitar shop or even up to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, we've always been mesmerized, I guess, about Gretsch. I mean, because they've been around. The history of it is a lot of it, too. I mean, it's just a cool guitar. It looks like rock and roll, don't it? You know what I mean?
And again,
it really does.
Yeah.
People don't realize the influence that Gretsch has had on all forms of music, and it's because of that, what we talked about, that fidelity of sound.
Right.
Yeah.
They really, you get a fullness of sound that you don't get from other instruments because of the construction, because of the Filtertrons, and that just makes, that is, the classic line is, it's that great Gretsch sound, but just the power and fidelity of the Gretsch instrument, it is not just a sitting, it's not just for Chet Atkins.
Gotcha.
It's also for Malcolm Young and everything in between.
And
So-
the history, the history of it, man. I'm telling you, it's just a cool piece.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's perfect. So the history, quality, dedication, Gretsch. If you're looking for all that, Gretsch is there. Let me see if I can get Travis over here to talk about Getfiddle a little bit.
Come on, T.
So I'm grabbing Travis up here. I want him to talk about Getfiddle because if you're talking about passion, quality, dedication, Travis with Getfiddle, he's doing it right. Tell us about your shop a little bit, Travis.
We're at 1549 Winchester Avenue. That's downtown Ashland. That's across from the Community Trust Building, next to Infusion Solutions. You guys were talking about lessons. We do have a lesson program here.
Okay.
$60 a month. That gets you 4 30-minute lessons. We try to, we're working with some kids from, some adults from Brighter Future and stuff like that come in here, that maybe have some disabilities.
Okay, that's awesome.
I know we've got one student that's coming in. He's got cerebral palsy in his left hand, so it's hard, he cannot chord. So we're trying to teach him to play slide, get him involved in music as much as we can. We're going to try to do, have some clinics and things like that this year to get people in here and maybe get some traveling musicians that maybe aren't quite famous, but yet that is their job, and let people know, that's, just because you're not famous doesn't mean that you don't pursue your music career.
That's taking it more than just a shop that's got supplies and stuff. I mean,
That sounds like.
Well, we do, we're going to do the, I don't know if you brought it up. So we do the First Friday events. Now, last year.
I have not, so go ahead and let's plug it.
So last year we did, we would have a band come in on First Friday from 5 to 7. The city, Ashland Emotion, has festivities outside. You've got vendors, a car show, and all that stuff going on. But so this year we're going to change it up a little bit. We're going to do a singer-songwriter night. So we're going to do, say, 3 acts. They'll come in, do 3 or 4 songs apiece, all originals. That's why we're probably going to keep it at 3 songs apiece. We just want to fill the time between 5 and 7. So if anybody is interested in that's listening on here, to get on Getfiddle Custom Shop. On our Facebook page, send us upload us a video, even if it's just you in your bathroom with a cell phone. We're not looking at the quality of your video. I just want to see you and hear your songs before, But we'll get you set up. So if you guys want to get on there and send those over, we'll get you set up, and we'll be doing this every first Friday for the rest of the summer. For as long as Ashland Emotion is doing their First Friday events, we'll be doing that.
So if you want to be a part of it, get on a Getfiddle Facebook page. Getfiddle Custom Shop Facebook page. Submit a video. He's saying he doesn't care about the quality of video. He's the owner of the shop. He's being nice. I'm the host of the podcast. I can tell you, man, put a little time into it. Write something good. Bring your best stuff. Let's hear it. Let's hear something cool. Then bring it out here to Getfiddle and get noticed.
Well, it sounds like this is going to be a good pair. I mean, he's into
Oh,
local music, and you're into local music. I
that's-
mean, this is going to be a good thing. Sounds like to me.
We'll see.
Well, you're going to come out every first Friday. Dylan's going to come
That's
out,
right.
set up. He's going to be doing the Yulin Branch Blues podcast
That's right.
from the shop.
That's right.
So you're also going to get audio. So
That's
you
exactly
know that's
right.
something that you can pick up. You know, on they can talk to you about that.
You know,
an
especially
audio
if you're just
recording.
getting started, or if you don't have a whole, lot going on right now, and maybe you don't have the PA, maybe you don't get the recording stuff or whatever. Come on out, get introduced to it. We'll have a crowd. I'm sure there's going to be a huge crowd.
Right.
So, because this thing, I mean, this area is starving for stuff to do. So,
Yeah.
That's right.
and then the shop's perfect for it. And then while you're here, they've got all. Tell us about some of the products that you have here.
So
That's what we need to.
our main focus in Getfiddle Custom Shop, of course, is quality, man. That is one of the reasons we have Jason here, with Gretsch and Jackson. We want an instrument that you can come in that, we are in an economic crisis in our area, agreed?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
I mean, not everyone, but most. I think people are just more or less scared to come off their dollar bills, and I understand. So, we're trying to get a product that we can offer at a price that is affordable.
Right.
Something you can come in here and put in layaway 20% down and get it out in 3 months, and it's not going to break you up.
Absolutely.
But going with a less expensive guitar, Jason was talking about these dim dandies. Listen, this thing's what, Jay? What are they running right now?
169.
169, right?
Wow.
And you think, well, that's probably a piece of junk. Absolutely not,
It's-
man. It is quality on point.
yeah.
The reason is the only reason that, or not the only reason that it is the best seller that you guys have on the SKU. It's not because it's under $200. It's because it's daggone banging for under $200.
Yeah, it's just a multi-purpose, well-built, really cool little guitar.
Yeah, very,
That's
very cool
awesome.
guitar. But, stuff like that, we're big into the accessory game. Like I said, we do the electronics. We can build them and install them, or we can build them and you can install them. And that's saying you've got a guitar and you want a little bit more out of
Gotcha,
it.
gotcha.
You know what I mean? You
Absolutely.
want. Yeah, I can go into so much detail, but I'll save that for my own YouTube stuff. But
Absolutely.
On the builds and things. But, yeah, I mean, sky's the limit on customization. You know what I mean?
That's right.
You can come in here and you want your Strat reef end, we can do that for you. Throw a nitro on it. Relic is really big right now. We can throw a relic on it, whatever you want.
Awesome.
But yeah, Get
Great.
Fiddle Custom Shop, brother.
Where all can we find you? So we know we're on Facebook. You
Yeah,
kinda
right
mentioned
now
YouTube.
we're in the process. So 2020, just like everybody else, we had a new vision. So right now we're in the process of building our new page. We've got some other stuff coming in that we were kind of holding off on the Get Fiddle. So getfiddlecustomshop.com. Right now, when you hit it up, sorry, it's not going to get you. It's
We're
not.
not gonna
It's
get
still
you.
there. It's going to tell you, hey, these catbirds haven't paid for their website or something.
Again?
You know what I mean?
Caution tape around it and everything.
But
can
so
always relate to
we're
that.
thinking about we're thinking in a lot of different directions. But so with the next 2 months we'll have that up and running. You'll be able to get on there and order your custom electronics. You'll be able to order any of the retail products that we have in our store, and then of course custom guitars, stuff like that. You can get on there and order. Sky's the limit. So right now we'll have our reverb and our eBay store back up and running. We took that down to focus a little bit more in store, just reevaluate. We didn't want, everything had been on there since 2013.
Gotcha,
So
yeah.
everything was old. I didn't even wire the same way. So we wanted to take everything off and revamp.
Gotcha.
So that's, like I said, within the next 2 months, we'll have all of that done. Then the next 3 weeks, we'll have our eBay and reverb back up and running. But yeah, man, we wanted to create a store that when you came in, you were comfortable.
Right.
We wanted to create a store that you came in and you felt a sense of community. That's something else we're trying to get some little, one night a week, have guys come and just play. I don't want
That's
anybody
huge,
to feel
man.
intimidated.
That is so big for
And just build community. You may need a guitar player, a rhythm guitar player or something. Well, you may meet him here, in the little
absolutely.
circle,
Absolutely.
and so that's stuff that if anybody's interested in heading that up, hit me up on that, because I'm looking for somebody that will take their time as far as marketing and that and stuff. This isn't for Get Fiddle Custom Shop in particular. This is just for the community of musicians, man.
Absolutely.
Getting everybody to know each other and stuff
There's
like
so
that.
much around. We talk about it every podcast. We mention it every podcast. It's so saturated in this area.
Oh, 100%.
And it's such a great community. And
Well, this is my first time in here, and I tell you what, anybody that plays the guitar, or if you need a set of strings or anything, get down here to Get Fiddleables. Get down here, check it out. You'll love it.
yeah.
Yeah, well, we try to keep our prices as close to online as we possibly can. Some things it's hard, boys.
Absolutely.
Some things it's hard. You got to make more than $1. You know what I mean?
Well,
So,
you got kids.
Right,
You
that's
got kids.
right.
You can't give it away.
they like to eat. Every now and then we feed them. You know what I'm saying?
Right, absolutely.
That was
But
joke.
just like the local
Nobody
music,
caught
you know,
that.
Get down here and support your local guitar shop, boys.
That's
I mean,
right.
you like coming in and looking at them. I know I do, you know.
Right.
Get
If you
down
want us
here
to
and
carry more products,
keep
then
them
come
here.
down
There
here and
you
buy
go.
the ones we got. We'll get some more. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Keep it
That's
moving.
right. Help support us, and we'll. But we know, so.
Come down here and help feed Travis's kids.
That's
please.
right. That's right. That's right. Poor little babies.
Another thing is,
I
you
tell
come down here. We're sitting on a stage right now that's storefront. We're looking right out on Winchester Avenue. It's just an incredible kind of feel, and he's got places set up here. You can just jam. You can try your stuff out. You know, you could talk him into it. Maybe you can try his stuff out before you buy it. I mean, it's just a really seems intimate setting here.
Oh,
And it's
you can
really-
play anything you want when you walk in the door. You just if you need some help, we'll give you some help. But
It's just really groovy. I'm gonna pick up. You've been showing me some of these mics. I'm gonna pick that up. I mean,
Well,
that's for the recording.
Me and Jason
side of
kind
it.
of touched on this a little bit earlier about, this shop here. You just don't buy the guitar and leave. I mean, if you have a problem or you need to know something, come back.
That's right.
He's right here. He's right here. He's your neighbor. Get down here and support local people, man.
That's what you want. And Jason, he's not our neighbor. He's from Alabama.
Well, that's pretty.
But hell,
close.
he's fitting in pretty.
I tell
he's
you
fitting in
what,
pretty
he-
good.
He's feeling like family.
He's fitting
gotta
in
feel
pretty
like
good.
family.
I do all right.
He did our intro and he did a great. I just threw it at him, put him on the spot, so it'll be our intro and outro, and they did a great job on that. Steve, we got to plug you, man. You got a big show coming up at the Pump House.
Yeah, the 13th, March
13th.
13th. It's going to be me and Cole Chaney and Rick Potter.
Yeah.
Going to be out there. Hope to do some original stuff. Probably mix it up. We'll probably do a little bit of everything. Cole's got he's going to have a full band there.
Yeah.
We're featuring him, Cole Chaney. If you
So
ain't heard him, check
You'll
him
be
out.
opening up, then
Yeah,
Rick,
Cole's
and
real
then
good.
Cole, and then you all are gonna. I think y'all are gonna
Yeah, I think we're
collaborate
going
a
to do
little
a jam
bit.
at the end. So, yeah, it's
So
going
that's
to be all
March
night.
13th. I think doors open at
Yeah.
what we say 8.
Well, the
Come on
music
down.
starts at 8.
Music starts at
Yeah,
8. Doors
so-
open at 7.
Yeah.
So come on down. They're
Hey,
probably
and we-
going to have merch, so bring some money. Damn it, support these guys.
Exactly. And
I'll
we're going
get
to have
all
the
over you.
parking. We're going to have the parking
The
situated
parking is
this
going to
time.
be figured out.
Exactly.
We're not
Last
gonna
time we
be-
had a cluster.
We had them stretched down to Kyle Field blew us out of the
207,
water. We had them
207 or
stretched down to
503
super
or
quick out
somewhere,
there. So Jason, man, appreciate your time. Appreciate
Thanks, you, bud.
talk to us about your products and stuff. It sounds like you've got great products, great stuff. You're keeping this store stocked here. And how often are you in the area?
I try to get up here at least twice a year.
Okay.
Yeah, it gets again big turf, a lot of territory, and it's traveling ain't cheap. So
Where all do you cover, real quick? Just kind of explain that.
Okay.
Real quick.
So
'Cause I
my-
kind of heard it and I was
Yep,
impressed.
my
I heard you
southern.
say something about Bangladesh.
No, it feels that way sometimes. My southernmost store is in south side is downtown Miami in the old Art Deco district.
he hates to go there, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, I feel bad.
Turn the air
for you.
conditioner on in January. My northernmost store is actually in Bel Air, Maryland. So technically, it's north of there's points of New Jersey that are further south. So and then I'll go all the way over to Memphis, through West Virginia, Kentucky. So I've got 13 states in total.
Wow.
Yeah.
Busy man.
Yep.
Is there just one of you? I mean, my God.
There's just one of me in the southeast.
Oh,
There's 8 guys that do the U.S. and Canada. So there's a total of 8 of us.
Yeah.
So it gets a little crazy.
Well, it sounds like Gretsch is doing it right. Quality, keeping it affordable.
Yep.
That's what this area needs and wants and is starving for. Getfiddle, doing it right, Travis. Appreciate your hospitality. You treat us great. Thanks for reaching out and inviting us out here. And hopefully we can do a lot more in the future. And,
Yeah, for sure.
And Steve, I can't seem to get rid of you.
Hanging in there like hair on a biscuit.
Hair on a biscuit. There we go. All right, guys. Well, that coming at you from Getfiddle Custom Shop down here on Winchester. Check it out. Big in the community, big in quality, affordability, lessons, whatever you need. They got it down here, man. And if they don't have it, talk to them. Maybe they can get it for you. I'm sure they open to suggestions. I'm sure. But thank you guys for listening. And when it comes to local music, local artists, local shops, now. You may love them, you may hate them, but you're going to meet them right here on Euland Branch Blues. Thank you, guys, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Rolling stone gathers no moss. Worn out my shoes, running through this honky tonk, singing you